All right, audio check 1, 2, 3. All right, there's going to be a little bit of reverb here for a second as I check audio. All right, audio check 1, 2, 3. All right, I think the game audio is just a little bit loud, so I'm going to go into Twitch. All right, back into audio check 1, 2, 3. All right, I want to get these audio settings correct because I had done previous streams and the audio was horrible. All right, back into audio check 1, 2, 3. It's going to be a little bit of reverb here for a second. All right, I want to get these audio settings correct because I had done previous streams and the audio was horrible. Back into audio check. All right, I think that should be a heck of a lot better than it was before. All right, hello and welcome to a series of streams I'm going to be doing for Game Pass Library. I have restarted this series because looking back at some of the other videos, it sounded as if the overall game audio was overbearing. I think I'm going to go there. And the music audio still sounds really loud. So if you are in the stream right now, let me know how the audio sounds. Again, I'm starting over this series of games. I went ahead and removed the other channels from, or the other videos from the channel. Stream right now, let me know how the audio sounds. All right, so I think that is a pretty decent setting. I might even
allow me to assist you.
All right, I think that's pretty good. Let's go with that. All right, this is AI, the Somnium files. Think Insomnia. I have previously played this game. I probably got about 2 hours, yeah, a little over 2 hours for this autosave here. So we're just gonna reload from there. Quick recap. There was a murder on a Ferris wheel. Sorry, on a merry-go-round. A couple of characters that I met, the boss, Mama, this, can't remember her name, but we'll get back into it. So the way that I'm going to be doing the streams are play for at least an hour for the game I'm about to stream, and then I'll stream it for an hour and kind of let you know what I think about the game. This isn't necessarily a review in any way, it's just me playing the game, having a discussion. So if you're in the stream or if you're watching this as a replay of the stream on YouTube, once I've archived the file, then that's where you can go to watch.
That's him?
Correct.
Are you Ota Matsushita?
Who are you?
I'm from the MPD.
The police?
Okay, so overall there was a murder on a merry-go-round. I investigated the scene, went back to headquarters, talked to the boss. The boss gave me information about my background. I have sort of an AI friend called Iba that essentially occupies one of my eye sockets. I can't remember if it's the left or right eye. And Iba can be transformed or changed into a full figure in the dreamscape or the dreamlands. We'll kind of look at that. And while investigating, there was a person that made a phone call to the murder scene, and it was this character right over here, Ota. I picked up that information from the boss at the headquarters. The boss gave me the name of Ota's mother over at like a cafe or a restaurant. I went and talked to Ota's mother. Ota's mother kind of told me, hey, I can probably find Ota here. So that's where we've kind of picked up. So I enjoy this game for its sort of let me search everything, let me get information on everything. Just about anything that you see in the scene can be hovered over with the cursor, and you can get a little bit more information on it. If there's a little bit more interaction, usually with characters, you can hover over, you can look at the character, you can talk to the character.
How did you know that?
Because I'm psychic.
I like the slight
Excuse
animation
me?
over on the left side. So the character is then brought forward, and it's not just a static image, it's actually animated, and I think it's got a good style of gestures, so you can kind of see the character sitting down. The left eye is slightly shut, as it is on the character sitting down inside the play space there. And over on the right side of the screen, you'll see sort of my menu that I can use while I'm communicating with the individual characters. So I've got auto, which essentially auto advances the dialogue. Most of the characters are voice acted, which is nice. You can skip past it if I wanted to by pulling the right trigger. The log tells you pretty much everything that you've talked in that specific encounter or this session. And you can actually, what I think is really cool, you can actually listen to the particular audio in the log. So you just select it.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Are you Ota Matsushita?
I found that my Xbox controllers, if I flick it down, it sometimes creeps back up.
The police?
So you can see the ones that have the audio cues on the left there, let you replay it, which I appreciate, being able to go back and recap some of the things that I've done, especially in games like this. I wouldn't necessarily call it a point-and-click adventure. I don't know if there's going to be relationships in this game. I've played a couple of games in the Game Pass library that there's some fairly good relationship-based gameplay. Not the likes of, say, Cyberpunk 2077, but there are games in the series that have more than Cyberpunk 2077, and we'll get into those into later playthroughs. So here in the menu, we can go here, and you see that you've got pretty robust amount of settings, from sound control to the text to the screen brightness. Language, if you want to listen to the original Japanese, you have that ability. Let me go back to the flowchart, actually. So we'll go here. And this is a recap of some of the story that I've already played through. And you can replay, reopen the investigation, look at the case file, read a couple more information about stuff that you've already done. But I think this is a really good it's a really good tool, I think, to go back and rehash and look at some of the things that you've already done. So This is a dream world that you can go into. Your character's name, I think, is Dante or Date or Date, D-A-T-E. And while Date is sleeping, then you can go into this dream state where Iba is sort of this character that you see off here to the right, which is pinned. This is where I'm at right now. Ongoing investigation. I'm in day 2. Again, plenty of information to go back into. You can see how large this is probably going to span. Kind of see, so this is my character right here, and you can read some information about it, which I think is pretty cool. This is Iba. The character on the left is sort of the eye. Let's go back over to Date. I think it's his left eye. Yeah, you can kind of see how it's slightly colored differently. So if you definitely want to get any kind of information on characters you've already met, this is an excellent place to go. You can get information on Abyss, which is the company that you work for. Lots of extra stuff here. Okay, so this is Iba when you're in the dream. There's some awesome art here, which I think is really cool. A lot of games don't necessarily do art and let you kind of look at some of the things that make up the world and all the hard work that the developers made. So kind of jumping through a bunch of stuff here, but just give you as much as I possibly can. Let's go into File, which I've already done there. All right, back into the game. All right, so let's go back into Auto. So if you ever see a number of selections that you can use to talk to your character, you've got the left, down, right. I had an up option. So let's go ahead and say, what are you typing?
Nothing. Could you stop bothering me, please?
All right, now you can sometimes, and I showed it in a previous stream that I did, but again, I erased all that because the audio wasn't there or my mic wasn't working. I went back to watch some of my other videos and I noticed there was 0 audio. Then I went back into Twitch settings and found that my mic was muted. So I'm gonna go back into these games and re-stream them so I can kind of give everybody a look at them. So if I have a dialogue option, so let's say if I said, could you look at me when I'm talking to you,
right now.
You brat. And let's say that he didn't give me the information that I wanted. Sometimes you can re-ask the same question. So you could say, hey, will you look at me? And then he'll say no. And then if it's still available, you can say, hey, will you look at me already? And then you can just continue to press the character and annoy them if that's something that you choose to do.
Don't play dumb, kid. Yesterday, 9 p.m.
Don't play dumb, kid.
You called the police from a payphone. You told them about the screaming you heard coming from Bloom Park.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right, Ota, look. We either do this here, or I take you down to the station.
Do you have a warrant? Article 2.3 of the Execution of Law Enforcement Code. Unless initiated by legal process, no person shall be detained or obligated to answer any questions without explicit consent.
This is the type of kid I hate the most. Well, at least he's trying to follow instruction. Punch him? Really?
Date, wait. Causing a disturbance in public will result in disciplinary action.
Then what should I do?
I have an idea. Give me a moment.
This should be interesting. Kick him? Alright, so let's look at a couple of other things.
Look! Ants! Look at them go! Yay!
We need to have a discussion about your obsession with insects.
Oh, did that just come from the plant? See, some of these things, obviously, I don't want to keep looking at a table, but you can at least get a little bit more information. Promotional videos the agency's talent are playing. Nothing dirty though. This isn't that kind of company. Wow, that's a very specific description. There's a receptionist with huge breasts sitting. Okay. Look at the painting. There's an abstract painting hung up.
I do not know.
Can I reach over and break that thing in half?
If you can pay for the damages.
Damn it.
I told you to wait.
Well, hurry up already.
More.
Perhaps your dosage needs to be increased.
What?
Listen to me, Date. Ota's PC is connected to the internet via Wi-Fi.
And?
I was curious, so I hacked into it.
Does Tessa refer to Aset?
That is a popular fan nickname for her.
That means Mato has to be Ota.
Correct. However, it appears that Ota is the one operating the other 3 accounts as well.
What?
Optical Protein Fiber, Pongo Ponko, and KG are all Ota's sub-accounts. Ota is insulting Aset and defending her all by himself. This is what's known as a strawman sock puppet or false flagging.
This kid is pathetic.
Should I have been able to read any of that stuff?
Hey kid,
What do you want?
I'm gonna tell Aset
Tell her what?
that you're sock puppeting for her on 2 Witter.
What are you talking about?
You should drop the attitude.
You shouldn't make those kinds of accusations. Do you want to get sued for defamation?
Optical Protein Fiber, Pongo Ponko, and KG are all your sub-accounts.
What? How do you know that?
I told you, kid. I'm psychic. Now, I have some questions for you.
Fine.
So I think one of the good things that the game does is its style. That kind of anime, playful, colorful. It doesn't take itself too seriously. I like the dream world, which hopefully we can see in this stream. The controls are fairly well done. You know, controlling Aiba because you'll actually take control of Aiba in her kind of human state form in the dream world. It's a little stiff, so we'll kind of look at that. There's a ton of sexual innuendos kind of littered throughout, but it doesn't get graphic in any way. It's just, it kind of leans into that area. But it's not egregious. It's not, you know, trying to flame spray you at every turn of the corner. But audio voiceover work is really done nicely. The animations, the dialogue panels, like I was talking about before when you talk to a character. So let's go ahead and ask about last night, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about.
I'm gonna ask you again. Were you the one who reported the screaming at Bloom Park around 9?
Yes.
Why were you in the area? You better tell me, or I'll tell everyone about your little imaginary enemies. Hey everyone, this guy...
Okay, I'll talk, just shh.
So see how I've already asked about last night, but I'm now given the option to ask about last night again. You can kind of pressure the character, and the character will kind of change the way that they address that specific question. There was actually one at the very beginning of the game, the opening sequence, to where there's a murder at this Ferris wheel. At this merry-go-round, and there's an investigator kneeled down, kind of looking at the ground just in front of the merry-go-round. And you ask the investigator, hey, what's your name? And it says, I forget what it says, Mizuki, I think. but then once that answer is over, it goes back to the player control, but then you ask the same question, what was your name? And then he'll get upset. It's like, I just told you, Mizuki. And then you can ask him again. He's like, come on, seriously, it's Mizuki. And then you can ask again, and it just keeps pressuring and changing. So there's depth to the dialogue options, which I can appreciate.
I went to Bloom Park because I was supposed to meet someone.
Did you enter the park?
Yes,
So who were you meeting?
a girl named Mizuki Okiura.
What did you say?
Mizuki Okiura? She's the daughter of the president of Lemniscate. Do you know her?
Yeah, I know her.
So it wasn't Mizuki for the dialogue. It was definitely an officer. It probably wasn't Mizuki because this is Mizuki. But let's say, why are you here?
I'm waiting for Tessa to come out.
This is an office building, not a concert hall.
This is the main facility of Lemniscate Entertainment's production branch. There are multiple studios for recording and broadcasting in this building. Tessa is recording a podcast today. She's just a friend.
Yes, she better be.
What? Why do you care?
Where and how did you two meet?
Here, the Lemniscate lobby. Mizuki is friends with Tessa. I was talking to Tessa one day and she just comes up like, hey.
When was this?
Last September. So, I guess the relationship has lasted over a year now.
Don't call it a relationship.
Well, what am I supposed to call it?
Let's pressure.
Anyway, I have her look over my work sometimes.
Work?
I write light novels.
Really? What's your pen name?
Odoin Kyoma.
That is a lie. Database searches reveal no professional authors have ever submitted work under that name.
Hey, Ota. How about you stop lying to me? My third eye can see through your bullshit.
Well, I'm not a published author. I'm an aspiring author, to be exact. So, anyway, Mizuki reads my novels. I get notes and advice from her.
From a 6th grader?
She's surprisingly insightful. She has the talent to be an editor for sure.
So I kind of talked a little bit about the style. And I think the quality of life part here for the auto forwarding of dialogue, or skipping altogether, kind of helps with some of that limited button mashing that you go through, especially with skipping. So if I've already heard a specific piece of dialogue on a separate playthrough, I don't have to kind of sit through it. And you can also see within the menu there's blocks that are kind of staticked out. That might be future options provided to me.
Around 8:10 last night, I got a call from Mizuki saying she wanted to meet me at Bloom Park. She sounded scared. You know how that area is run down and abandoned? I think she wanted me to go with her as protection.
But why Bloom Park?
Someone messaged her on Nile.
Nile is a popular messaging application for smartphones and PCs.
What did they say?
She didn't tell me exactly, but it said to come to the merry-go-round at Bloom Park tonight.
Who sent it?
I don't know. But Mizuki was determined to go.
What happened next?
I met up with Mizuki and we went into the park.
So, now I do wish that you were able to move around the space. The space does look fairly simple, so I'm not quite sure why I'm locked to just looking around from a fixed position. I think being able to walk around the space would be a little more free, or provide a little more freedom to the player.
Did you leave her there? You left a 12-year-old girl by herself?
I didn't mean to. I was panicking. People do stupid things when they're in fight or flight mode. Like when people grab their pillow and run out of their house in a fire.
Jeez, you're a real hero, kid.
See, I knew you would make fun of me. This is why I didn't want to tell you.
Is that why you didn't identify yourself on the phone? You seriously didn't think we'd find you? Mizuki would have told us everything.
I didn't think she would.
Why wouldn't she?
She said that if she ever got caught going out at night with someone like me, her roommate would kill her.
Good girl.
Kill her?
I tried using my cell phone at first, but my heart was pounding and I was scared and my hand was shaking. And with the rain last night, it kind of slipped out of my hand.
You dropped it?
Yeah, right into a puddle.
Aiba, can you trace the last signal that Ota's phone sent out?
Near Bloom Park, just past 9 p.m. The phone has not been turned on since.
I guess he's telling the truth.
Hey, Ota, what are you doing?
Tessa!
And you are?
Mr. Date from the MPD. He came here to ask me about what happened last night.
You mean a detective? Wow! I've never met a real detective before!
I'm starting to get a feeling of sort of watching a interactive animated series.
Date, your adrenaline level is rising. Is something the matter?
No, nothing.
Gee, Tessa, you always look so cute. So cute. So cute that I can't take it. Don't you think so too, Date?
You're awfully familiar with her.
I can't help it. Her loving aura is in the air. When I'm with her, my head gets all light, and I just relax and don't sweat the small stuff, you know? Oh,
I heard about it. About Ota seeing that corpse at Bloom Park. He told me.
Tessa!
Why didn't you come to the police?
Such a shocking story would certainly pique the young woman's interest. It is possible Ota wanted her attention.
He told her about a dead body he found for attention?
Actually, I already knew about it before Ota told me.
How?
It's all over the internet.
Sort of the portraits
When I saw Ota this morning, I asked him
look
about
very
it.
close
He told me
to
he saw the
hand-drawn,
body.
but then when you see them animated, it's actually fairly well done.
You know who this is, right?
Yeah, it's the woman I saw at Bloom Park. Her name is Shoko Nadami. I saw it on the news.
Wait, do you not know who her daughter is?
She has a daughter?
I didn't know that either.
They must be unaware that Shoko is Mizuki's mother.
Maybe because her last name is different. Nadami and Okiura.
It has also not yet been reported that Shoko is Renju's ex-wife.
Now I'm trying to open up a previous document that I made, and it kind of covered some of the characters that I met. So as I've kind of learned different methods of keeping track of the state or where I left off while playing the game, there's a couple of characters that I had previously met. Aset was one of them that was talked about from here. If I go into menu here, go into file, and I go to persons. So Mayumi is Ota's mother, and she kind of was the one that first talked about Aset and how Ota kind of got into following Aset, and sort of all these different kind of characters that are kind of within this game. So here's the boss, Mayumi. Ota, Shoko is the, I guess, the wife of Renju Okiura, this guy right here. So again, Mizuki's the girl that I found inside the center of the merry-go-round. Aiba is my companion. Date is the investigator. And again, I'm trying to kind of keep track of characters that I meet, but I don't know why I have to, because the game is already doing it for me. So again, appreciated. A loser, geek. A lot more pages than I thought there were. All right.
Mizuki Okiura? Yeah, I am. Mr. Okiura runs the agency, and Mizuki is his daughter, so we hang out sometimes.
Is that how you became friends?
There's more to it than that, but basically...
Again, that's the girl that I found in the center of the merry-go-round. She doesn't tell me much of anything, come to think of it. I'm totally in the dark.
So, Mizuki must come here to hang out sometimes. Let me confirm something. You're Aset, right?
Let's play a game. Shadows!
Thread? Silhouette? Aset!
Fears!
Upset? Regret? Aset!
Water!
Wet? Sweat? Aset!
Yay! Aset, you bet!
The
What?
magnetic currents in the atmosphere are clearly causing aberrant behavior. We should leave at once.
Maybe she was just asking for a word, and then the people that were playing was just trying to somehow link it back to Aset. Was that a Kevin Bacon, like 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon in some way?
I turned 18 this year.
A senior in high school?
Yep.
Date, I recommend you keep your hands to yourself.
Don't worry. I'm not gonna make a move.
What?
Oh, I meant Ota.
Wait, you were gonna make a move on me?
What?
Relationship?
We're like a goddess and a summoned thrall.
Her thrall?
If Tessa ever gets in trouble, I swoop in and protect her.
You sound more like a superhero than a thrall. Ota always defends me when I'm getting bashed online.
Stop, you're making me blush.
This guy.
What is he, like a Twitch moderator?
Hey, let me tell you something. It's about those posts on Twitter.
Wait!
Huh. Looks like you're my thrall now. Isn't that right, Ota?
Yeah,
Blackmail.
just be cool.
Date, I have determined that these two have no further information for us. Our goal is to find the murderer of Shoko Nadama. Let us continue.
Right. Let's head back to the crime scene.
I am curious whether or not this specific murder, how much of an arc there is through the entirety of the game. And again, I'm just beginning. I'm probably now 3 hours into the game. And again, this has sort of been the front and center case for Date. So hopefully there's a lot more characters to meet. It's not always Aced, it's not always Ota, but there's obviously a small story here with these two. So there's already the murder arc. Now you've got the story arc with Aced and Ota. You've got a story arc inside of the kind of the Mizuki and how she fits into the whole scene and her connection with Oda. So there's arcs within arcs, with the overall story being the murder. So I think that's well done. There's definitely very varied characters, and they're presenting those well.
See you kids later.
Where are you going?
Back to where the corpse was found.
In that case, I'll go with you.
You'll what?
Please
Acet's the
take me
murderer.
with you,
Why?
because I want to know more about what happened. Do you have any suspects? Probably some
You.
crazy murderer, right? That's
You're
what
the
Ota was
murderer.
telling me. The corpse was strung up on that merry-go-round. It must have been some kind of twisted message. Ota, take a video.
Huh?
Just do it. Mr. Date! Please, Mr. Date, you can't leave me.
What?
I can't imagine life without you.
What are you
What
doing?
Ota, did you get it?
Oh, yeah.
Blackmail. No idea what all that was about. What was that about?
Mr. Date, you are a member of the MPD, aren't you? A public servant? I wonder, what would happen if this little video happened to go viral?
You wouldn't.
Oh, and just so you know, taking my phone away won't help. It's already in the cloud.
You little...
I told you. I want you to take me to the scene of the crime.
Oda, you got
If
a
you
awkward
do,
choice
I
of
promise I'll
friends.
delete the video.
Date, a thought has occurred to me. She really is quite the seductress.
Aced has a rather inappropriate smile on her face, given the circumstances. Oda, better choice in friends.
No, not at all. I'm just imagining your body sinking into Tokyo Bay.
All right, so those that are in the lobby, I guess you would be, as you're watching this, sort of the way that these videos are going. I'm playing the game for an hour out of the Game Pass library. If you're in and lurking, that's fine. Do me a quick favor, if you would, drop in the chat and say hi so I know who's stopping by. And also, you can give me a suggestion of a game you'd like to see me stream next. If it's available in the Game Pass library, I have access to it. If it's a game that's not in the Game Pass library, maybe I have it in my collection. If I don't have it in my collection, whether or not it be on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, I can't stream right now Nintendo Switch games. But if it's in the Xbox Game Pass or PlayStation Network, you know, something that comes out of PlayStation Plus, I probably have access to those games. But again, just name a game. If I've got it, I'll stream it. And just drop that down in the chat. If you're watching this as part of a YouTube replay of the stream, drop in the comments section. And hit the like and subscribe if you like the content. And jump over to Twitch and follow so that you know when I do go live. And hopefully I'm going live with games that you have suggested. Alright, so I'm just imagining your body sinking into Tokyo Bay. Me?
I'm used to sinking. Part of the job.
Huh?
Oda is staring daggers at me. ASAT has a rather inappropriate smile on her face given the circumstances. Alright, so I could leave the area, or I could probably go over here and talk to this large-breasted receptionist. Huge breast sitting behind the desk. So I can't talk to the receptionist? Doesn't look like I can do anything else here, so let's go ahead and... See, I mentioned before the sort of the diamond-shaped menu items in the bottom right of the screen are dynamic based on what it is that I'm allowed to do. Otherwise, they're just sort of static out. So let's go to the map. And I wish it would give me a cursor control to let me kind of zoom around the map and find locations, but it only lets me go to specific areas right now. Let's go back to Bloom Park. There should be a car driving animation sort of as a loading screen. Stay hydrated. Oh, this is interesting. So I'm driving around. That's actually pretty cool. So can I talk to...
We're good friends. We go to movies and karaoke and go shopping together. She's
actually
really
a pretty
good
cool
at listening
sequence.
to me bitch and moan about my problems. I'm so much older than her, but it really doesn't even feel like it.
I think the interfaces are done fairly well. I could almost see this. Let's just change the theme, the skin of this game, and let's make it Ghost in the Shell. I think I'm a big Ghost in the Shell fan. I'm a big Cyberpunk fan. And I'm not talking Cyberpunk as Cyberpunk 2077, just that Cyberpunk. I'm talking about Cyberpunk genre as a whole. I'm a big fan of. So Blade Runner, I like Altered Carbon, I like Ghost in the Shell. That probably started my likes of Cyberpunk. But imagine this game being Ghost in the Shell, an investigative kind of a theme in that universe.
Questions. What's it like being a detective?
Wouldn't know much about that. I'm not a detective.
Mm-hmm. But you are a cop, right?
Right. But I'm not on the crimes unit.
Then what unit are you in?
What indeed?
You aren't gonna tell me? Please?
What are you doing?
Just thinking about posting that video.
Whoa, hold up now.
You little...
Well then, tell me!
I'm surprised that it doesn't let me... Well, I guess so I can keep my eyes on the road. But I think the little window, that's kind of what made me think of Ghost in the Shell, is just that sort of augmented reality point of view of a character in the space that I'm not looking directly at.
You know, now that I think about it, wouldn't you get in trouble for that video too?
What?
The video. You're an idol, right? You have a status to maintain. If that video went viral, I think you'd be in trouble too.
It's okay.
It is?
Because sometime real soon, I'm going to die.
What?
What?
I can see into the future. I know when I'm going to die. Just kidding!
Hope so.
All right, well done.
Anyway, I'm not going down without a fight. So I will release that video if you don't cooperate. Why do you ask?
You two are very close for an idol and a fan.
Ota is special. He really is like a hero to me.
Hero, huh?
Well, I guess it was because I've always wanted to be famous, you know? I want to be famous, get on TV, be a household name.
But you're not there yet.
It's all right. Internet stars do better if they don't sell out.
Internet star?
All right, so I'm going to pause here and just think. See, certain elements of games, I'm leaning ever so slightly back to Cyberpunk 2077. And the conversations and the depths of the conversations in this game is something that I wish was available in Cyberpunk 2077. There's a couple of instances, there's actually a lot of instances where you're roaming around in a vehicle with another character in Cyberpunk 2077, and the options that you get to talk with that character and get to know that character on a deeper level. Not that you're trying to romance every single character, which I still think should be an option in Cyberpunk 2077 in this day and age, especially when you can go in a game like Watch Dogs Legion and any NPC in that game can be recruited into your team after performing a procedurally or randomly generated quest for that character. You'd think they'd be able to manage some random dialogue in a setting like Cyberpunk 2077. So anyway, I play these games and I think, man, this would be a cool thing if they would just add this little piece of this game into Cyberpunk. I'm constantly thinking of those things. So anyway, back to the story.
Ota didn't tell you? I'm most famous on the internet. I do songs, and dances, and play video games and stuff on stream. Have you heard of Shovel Forge?
Shovel Forge is a game in which you manipulate cubes on the terrain to build structures.
I've been focusing a lot on that game lately.
What about being on TV?
I'm not very popular yet. I can only get on TV as a background singer or something. I don't get many gigs either. Well, at first all I did was stream from home. And then, not to sound cocky, but I started getting pretty big. I started getting offers from agencies.
And one of them was Lemniscate?
Well, not exactly.
Huh?
My mom's actually an old friend of the president of the agency.
Friend of Renju's?
Yeah. So I asked him for advice one day. You know, you have to be careful. Even a place that looks legitimate with an office and everything can be sketchy. And my mom and I didn't know anything about the industry at all. But anyway, one day Mr. Okiura said to come see him at his office, and he hooked me up.
I'm part of a special investigation unit known as Abyss.
Date!
I don't have a choice.
What's Abyss?
Advanced Brain Investigation Squad. The public doesn't know about it.
Wow, cool!
Don't tell anyone.
I promise I won't. I swear to the Egyptian goddess Isis.
Now again, I'm hoping that I can get through this and you can see some of the Dreamscape gameplay. Because right now it's just primarily story related portions of the game for the last 50 minutes.
By the way, I didn't catch your name.
You really want to know?
It's okay if you don't want to tell me.
Iris. Iris Sagan. I know, weird, right? Ratty cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Pat it, poke it, fill it with fruit. Something wrong?
No, there's nothing.
That was a long car ride. I think I'll extend this gameplay a little past an hour of what I normally do, just so that I can possibly get into the Dreamscape gameplay.
Excuse me, Yukaname Date?
That's right.
And the girl?
She's an important witness for this case.
Yep.
We've got business here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Iris couldn't hold back her excitement and rushed onto the scene, contaminating evidence. Not quite sure why they're allowing her to just roam around. Alright, so this was the scene of the murder that kind of set off the game. I can go over to, let's see, local policeman.
It's not looking too great. We searched all over here, but we didn't find nothing.
So like you can look at the sky, you can look at the Ferris wheel. So I think that's why I kept saying Ferris wheel, because it was in view. Let's talk to Iris.
Hey, Iris, I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here, but you're wasting your time.
What do you mean?
The cops already scoured the place. They didn't find any leads, not a single clue. If they had, they would have notified Iba.
Iba?
My partner.
Your partner? I don't see anybody.
She's right in front of your eyes.
Or is she right in front of my eyes? Oh, I skipped it, darn it.
I was trying to find some clues.
She's a natural detective, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Date, was the body on top of this horse here?
Yeah, that's the one.
Seems like some kind of ritual murder to me. Maybe a religious cult sacrificing her to the devil or something. They conducted their ritual here.
So, Iris, or ASET, is a gamer, streamer, idol, TV extra, and amateur detective. That's a skill set.
Like shadowy, hooded figures going around and around, stabbing her one by one.
That's quite an imagination. But, do you have any proof?
I do.
Well, let's hear it.
Alright, let's back out here, see if I can look at the horse at all. Alright, so we can zoom in, look at a couple of things here, let's see if there's anything special.
Iba, can you show me the earliest recorded images of the scene of the crime?
What is your intention?
Shoko's cause of death was blood loss from multiple stab wounds with the ice pick. Naturally, there should be plenty of blood.
Agreed.
But there isn't a single drop on the horse. And it was like this when we found it.
Correct. There are no signs of blood being wiped or washed off either.
That must mean...
She died and they brought her here. Right? That's what I'm thinking.
The horses. Horse? Sounds kind of like Horus, right?
What are you talking about?
You don't know Horus?
Horoscope?
Horus is the Egyptian god of the sky and sun. The right eye is the eye of Ra, and that's the sun. The left eye is the eye of Wadjet, and that one is the moon. It's the same idea behind the Eye of Providence.
The Eye of Providence?
The all-seeing eye.
Oh, I
That's
see.
on our currency.
Just like what's on the back of a $1 bill.
Yeah, exactly. The Eye of Providence is supposed to be the symbol of Freemasonry and the Illuminati. Starting to see the picture?
Not really.
remember Ota describing the scene. He said there was an ice pick stabbed into the corpse's left eye socket. Horus? Providence? Left eye? There has to be some kind of meaning to this.
Wait, what did you just say?
What?
The ice pick was inside the victim's left eye socket?
Yeah?
Ota told you that? He's sure that's what he saw?
Yeah. Why?
When we arrived at the scene, the ice pick was not in the victim's eye socket.
If Ota's telling the truth...
He would have no reason to lie about such a detail.
Tinazuki?
Getting a little closer.
When I was younger, but not since it closed. Kabasaki is restricted, right? No one's supposed to be here.
This amusement park, Bloom Park, is located at the heart of the Kabasaki district. It was closed 8 years ago. The closure was due to an accident at a nearby chemical plant. An explosion caused massive amounts of chemical pollutants to contaminate the area. The government quickly issued evacuation orders. Eventually, the entire district was deemed unsafe for habitation and restricted. Therefore, Bloom Park was permanently closed.
But a restricted area doesn't mean much if there aren't enough officers to patrol it. There's still plenty of ways in. You can even get in by boat. Hell, some people ignore the evac order and are still living here.
Are they okay?
I don't know. But if anything happened to them, it'd be their own fault.
Are we safe?
We are, yeah. Decontamination for this area is basically done. The chemical concentration around here isn't high enough to hurt you. You could run a marathon here and be okay.
But it's still off limits, right?
Yes, legally. That keeps the media out, at least. I'm glad. It's quieter than it usually is.
I wish you could do a quick scan of the area to know
Mr. Dante,
what it
that
is
horse.
that
It was stored
I
in the warehouse nearby.
guess
Some kids
can
must have
scan
broken
in
in
order
and
to
put it up
progress
as a
the
joke.
story. The Illuminati.
Is that a phone booth?
No, it's the control room. This is where the staff would run the merry-go-round.
I was joking.
I think it's interesting that I've returned to a previous scene that I had scoured for information, but now that I'm here with a character that I met in a different part of the game, they're responding to things that normally wouldn't get more than just, it's a bench.
I would burn all those damn benches if I could.
Where is
Wow,
this
there's
music
actually-
coming from?
There's actually more than I thought, which makes me want to click on everything again. Let's see if I get a response out of Iris.
A black and white bear? I'm not gonna be punished, am I?
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Just thinking about a game I like.
Let's see here.
Oh, come on! Just a little longer.
No. I'm already in enough trouble bringing a civilian in here.
Okay, I guess.
Hey, you alright? Are you okay?
Oh my gosh!
What?
I'm kidding. It's not like I would know.
Get on. I'll give you a ride.
Get on. I'll give you a ride home.
Score.
It's almost like Solid Snake.
Just wondering, but how much do you weigh?
Don't you know it's rude to ask a lady that?
105 pounds.
I see. 105, huh?
You can tell just by lifting me?
Yeah.
Your back is so warm, Mr. Date.
And with this scene closed, a new relationship between Iris and Date has begun to bloom. It's quite a little bit more than I expected from this encounter. And again, I know that primarily all you've seen during this stream is story elements. There is gameplay here. I kind of want to go into the menu and see if I can show you. Let's see if I can jump in here, see what this is like, jumping into a... Stop the current investigation and start investigating day 1, sinking in the brain, proceed. I'm not quite sure what this is going to do. Stop the current investigation and start investigating day 1. No. I'll try that offline.
Horrible.
I think I'll just keep playing.
Shame.
Oh, you should worry about me more.
Looks like you're feeling better now.
Maybe I'm just acting.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What if I threw up right here?
I would put it right back where it came from.
Ew, that makes me actually want to throw up.
Wait, seriously?
No, but I am kind of warm.
The current temperature is 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Humidity 60%.
So again, if you're just
It is
joining
unlikely
me,
that heat would be a factor.
I would like to kind of extend a welcome, and
Hey,
also if you would
They say
like,
when you stick your hand out of a car going 100,
please jump down in
you
the
get a rush
chat
like you're
and tell me a
holding
game
teacups.
that you'd like to see me stream from the Game Pass library. That's pretty much what I've started here with episode 1. I've gone ahead and restreamed. I'm going to restream the first 8 episodes because it looks like my audio did not pick up. So I hope if you are watching, and if you could take a quick moment and tell me how the audio is for the voiceover in comparison to the audio coming from the game, I'd greatly appreciate that. But again, name a game. If I have access to it, I'll add it to my stream. And if it's in the Game Pass library, it will be one of a numbered episode, and I'll give credit for the request. But again, jump down in the chat, or if you're watching this as a replay in YouTube, jump down in the comments and give me a suggestion of a game you'd like to see streamed. So I think I'm just going to continue playing because I'm enjoying the story, and hopefully I can show you some of the other types of gameplay that you can experience within AI, the Somnium files.
Hey, watch it! You'll get your arm ripped off.
Relax, I'm invincible.
Rao, if I'm saying that correct, or Ra? I think Ra would sound better, so if I'm saying that correctly, thank you for letting me know the audio is good.
My arm regenerates like an alien's.
Didn't you tell me that you're gonna die soon?
Ra, if I'm saying that correctly, go ahead, give me a title in the Game Pass library, and if you give me the title, it'll be the next game I stream. It'll be number 2 in a series. I've played about 8 games out of the Game Pass library, but if you give me the suggestion, just go look at the Game Pass library online somewhere, name a game, and that'll be the next one that I'll install or stream, whatever. Give me a game, and that'll be the next one. Appreciate you stopping by. Appreciate the call out for the audio being good.
It feels strange.
Your hand?
No, not that. It feels like I've met you before.
Well, that's nice. But if you don't get your damn hand back in this car right now...
Okay,
Oh, come on, everybody does
okay.
that, right? Everybody sticks their hand outside of a moving car if you're not the one driving. Or I guess if you are the one driving, and do the airplane.
It feels nice. You should come in.
No, that's all right. I'm gonna head home.
All right, Wasteland 2 it is, Raw, if I'm saying that correctly. So basically how I do these streams is if I haven't played the game before, I will download it onto the console. I'll play it for about an hour, which is generally the time it takes me to get really solid and familiar with the game. And then I'll stream it. So it'll be the next game I stream, and I'll probably stream it tonight. So after I'm finished here, hopefully I can get into some of the Dreamscape gameplay so you guys can see that. And then right after this one, I'll go play Wasteland 2 and then jump on and stream it for an hour. So Wasteland 2 will be next. Thank you for the suggestion. I appreciate that.
Ooh, going home already?
I said my goodbyes, then turned to leave. But out of the corner of my eye, I see the murder weapon. I think it's A-Set. I think A-Set's the murderer. The characters do look very well animated, almost as if I'm watching an animated series. So technology has come a long way. I don't know if it's on console. I'm pretty sure that it is. I'm going to jump out of the chat here real quick. I'm pretty sure it's Wasteland, because I remember seeing Wasteland 2 and Wasteland 3. Let's see if I can find the Xbox Game Pass. Again, I'm just opening up the app on a separate... Alright, let's search for Wasteland. So I've got, looks like Wasteland, you said Wasteland, right? Not Wasteland Express. Yeah, Wasteland 2. Alright, so it shows the available Wasteland Remastered, Wasteland 2 Director's Cut, and Wasteland 3. It says it's available. So I will install it onto the console. Again, I'm just doing this all through the Game Pass app on my phone. So it should be added to my install queue. Alright. Should be good to go. So it is on console, so it's installing now. Oh, well, good. What did you not like? Well, I guess not necessarily. If it's the only one you liked, what was it that wasn't great in Wasteland 3, but was better in Wasteland 1? No, it can't be. It can't be. I felt like my mind and body were being torn in opposite directions. As I stood there, stunned, Iris grabbed my hand.
Come on, I'll make some tea.
You're
Nice to meet you. I'm Iris's mother, Hitomi.
Miss Hitomi.
And you are?
Kaname Date from the MPD.
Police? Are you a detective?
No, Mom. Mr. Date said he's...
Iris?
Oh, right. It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
After an awkward silence, Iris brought us some tea on a tray. I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit more water here. Got to stay hydrated. I'd like to see if I can get a... there's sort of an automatic setup you can do in Twitch to where it tells you, hey, you need to hydrate. But again, I'm streaming everything directly from my Xbox. All right. So Hitomi or Iris. See what else is around. This almost feels like a 180. Wow, I almost have 360 degrees of view. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is, let's go into the menu. Let's go ahead and save. We'll do this one right here. Yes. And then let's save another one. What I want to do is try to show you some of the other gameplay types. Let's stop this investigation. Hopefully what it'll do it'll just let me go back and explore this segment of the game a little bit more.
What is this place?
This is your dream.
I'm me.
Correct. You are Date.
And you are? You're... Where do I even start with this?
I can answer all of your queries.
All right, then.
It is somewhat of an awkward introduction.
Who are you?
I'm me, of course.
I know that voice. Iba?
Indeed.
Why do you look like a fluorescent shrimp?
What are you talking about? I must look so cute that you've lost your mind. Under normal circumstances, I would lecture you about your awful taste, but...
What are you doing in my dream?
All right, so I'm going to skip past this to kind of just show you the overall gameplay. And again, it's just so that you can kind of get a feel for some of the other options that you have. So I don't need to take a tutorial, but I can always play it again. So here you can see I have control of Iba, sort of a different way to play. Now I wish this was the way that you kind of explored every area. Kind of off to the side in this, I wish Date would walk around a space. But you can kind of see this room right here is the room that I was sitting in talking to those two, right? Hitomi was sitting there and Aset was sitting there. So you can kind of see this space was, and again, this section that I'm playing right now was a section at the beginning of the game. So sort of what you do is I need to turn on the light. So I'll go over here, try to get into the light switch. Actually, I think at first I need to go over here.
A door locked with a padlock. It appears all I have to do is open this door.
But you can see how she is unable to manipulate certain objects in the game. There was sort of a sexual innuendo right there if you didn't notice it.
This is Date's Somnium, a reality built by dreams.
My Somnium?
I see. Your mental faculties must be hazy because your body is currently sleeping.
So I'm going to skip past this a little bit. It's primarily just giving me intro on how to interact with things. So this is the only interactable segment. Again, this is one of many that I imagine will be available to me. So certain things like light will highlight objects that you can manipulate. So if I go over here to the iris.
What?
Do you not recognize it? This is an iris that blooms in winter.
A flower with a woman's name.
Now, remember how Iris was the name of Aset. So it's sort of almost like I'm looking in the past while still being aware of the future and kind of making the things here have more of a connection, which is sort of an interesting concept. But again, me going backwards isn't necessarily an element of the game, it's just letting me replay them.
It's remarkably solid. I can hardly believe it's a plant.
It's symbolic of my lifestyle. Put your roots down and stand your ground.
A winter iris.
Hey, I didn't know you could smell.
I can't. I'm pantomiming. Isn't it easier to visualize this way?
Alright, so that interaction removed the thorns that were around here. Now, again, I did the plant before the thorns, and that's sort of the gist of this style of gameplay, is you have to do specific things in specific orders. The way that you have Aiba interact with them in order to... It's almost like, consider it an escape room that you have to kind of figure out what puzzle or what order things need to go in order to complete the specific tasks, in order to finally leave the room and break specific mental blocks.
A switch. The thorns are gone. Now I can activate the switch. Isn't this rewarding, Date? Another place you can touch.
I would rather be sleeping.
Alright, so turning on the light, push the progression slider down into turn on the light, which means I've now unlocked that specific area. And now I need to unlock mental lock number 2.
A glass of wine.
Alright, so we'll investigate it. Again, I'm just going to kind of progress through. Now there's some story elements here that if you want to listen to and kind of pick up on a little bit more, it'll kind of lead you into other areas. It's going to get to a point where I interact with this skeleton. And again, I've already kind of gotten an idea of some of the things that... I'm trying some of the things that weren't available to me before.
Sorry. I shouldn't...
A basket.
Let's search it.
A model of a UFO. A stuffed chupacabra. And a $1 bill.
Occult stuff, maybe?
Does the occult interest you, Date?
The truth is out there.
It is a trending topic. Anyone could have encountered items such as these.
True. Somebody's into the occult.
This is somewhat different than occult.
Alright, it definitely has something to do with this skeleton, so I'll get that out of the way.
Bleeding from the left eye. There are traces of blood around the left eye socket.
Even though it's just bone?
This skeleton
And again,
is clinging to some small
that
bit of
is
blood.
where the murder suspect was stabbed through the eye with the left eye. And that happens to be Date's left eye is the one Aiba currently occupies.
A skeleton. To the skeleton?
You just want someone to talk to, huh?
True.
And a little bit of dialogue. I think I go over here and I interact with this,
shaped
and
like
it
a rose.
shakes the head of the skeleton. I think I kick it.
You don't have to kick it so hard.
Give it everything you've got.
Alright, so now you can kind of see how the progression slider has gone down a little bit, which tells me I need to go back here. And now I've got the option to hit it again.
Know this, skeleton. I harp.
The progression marker's gone down. That pushes forward into this. Again, most of this I've already done. You can kind of figure out how escape rooms require specific input from you in what specific order. But again, this is sort of a taste of some of the other gameplay that's available in AI, the Somnium files. I'm looking forward to progressing in the story because the characters are fairly well put together. And the fact that they are all voice over acted, I think, is also a huge plus.
You don't know?
I don't know.
And I think they're
like some
well
old man.
acted as well.
You could
They're
describe him a
not
little
too
more
monotone.
generously.
They have their own kind of style. And I'm hoping to meet some other characters, you know, as I continue to progress through the game. Now I know that this is a spoiler coming up here, so I hope I've skipped past some of the things that will get you to these points. But this next one here is, I know this is sort of the sexual innuendos that I was talking about before. This is sort of going to be one of them. So I know that I got to pick up this gun, and if you can kind of see the shape of the gun, the barrel is that of a key. So if I pick this gun up,
Came out of the skull?
kind of see how it's shaped like a key. I'm going to go ahead and
Why is
investigate
there a
it.
gun in this house?
I'm going to skip past a little bit of this. I'm going to go ahead and pick it up.
It won't go off.
Pick it up. And now I'm going to go over here
A
and take
door locked
the
with a
door.
padlock. Do you think something this size would fit?
Might fit if you work it in a little.
So these are the sexual innuendos, right, that they throw into the game. And they're done in, I guess, not in great taste, but playful versus abrupt. Right? I don't know the best way to describe it. It's not done too grotesque. It's done with some humor and some decent comfort with that humor.
Try just the tip.
I suppose. I see.
I'm going to just progress past this. Again, you can get back into the game on your own if it's something that you'd want to try. But I hope that this gave you a good look at some of the things you can expect in AI, the Somnium files. I've been enjoying the game, and most of the games that I have played in the Game Pass library have been very well designed, developed. The art style in all of them are very well done. I'm going to go here to the headquarters. You can kind of meet the boss, and then we'll end it there. But I appreciate it very much for you guys coming by. Raw, if that is your name, and if I'm pronouncing it correctly,
Good morning, Doctor.
or if you could
waiting
phonetically
for you.
spell it. I appreciate you stopping by, helping me out with the way that the audio sounds. And I will be streaming Wasteland 2 next as a suggestion that you gave me. And it should be downloading onto the console right now. I'm going to go play it for about an hour. Hopefully that will get me enough into the game to where I can comfortably talk about it and have a discussion. And if you would like to jump in about an hour, a little over an hour from now, and drop in some of your wisdom on the game, since you've played it a lot more than I have, I'd appreciate that discussion and that interaction. But again, thank you very much for those that joined me during the live stream. As always, if you're not already, hit the follow button. If you're watching this as a recording of the live stream after it's uploaded and archived into YouTube, and you're watching that and you've made it up to this point, again, I appreciate very much that you stuck through it. Drop a comment, tell me a game that you'd like me to stream. If it's in the Game Pass library, I have access to all of them. Again, Game Pass games drop in, drop out, so if it's not immediately available, hopefully it'll jump back in, or you can give me the suggestion in time for me to stream it. So, all right, thank you very much, and I will see you all on the next stream, and number 2 will be Wasteland 2. Coincidence. All right, thank you very much. Bye.